Do you know why it's great to be a 3D artist? You can give life to any idea that comes to your mind. Where others see an empty room, we see endless possibilities. When we start freelancing, I think the question we all have is, how am I going to land my first client? Unfortunately, in Greece and I believe in most countries, 3D renderings are considered a luxury. So, what I did back then was to target countries with strong economy. We are fortunate because we are in a profession that doesn't require physical presence. So, you can be in Greece, in Italy, in India, and have clients anywhere in the world. I personally targeted Switzerland because it has a really strong economy, the United Kingdom for the same reason, and the US, Miami and New York. So, how did I approach them? First, I created a portfolio that included 10 projects or so. Then, I found architectural studios located in those areas, and then I started emailing them. Now, when you do email campaigns, you need to be really patient to see results. But I will tell you a tip that was the key to my success to expand to those countries. I narrowed down my research and I targeted first architects and designers that had the same origin ethnicity as I do. So I am from Greece, so I targeted Greek architects and designers that were located in the areas I mentioned earlier. And that was a hit because based on my experience, they can trust you easier. You speak the same language, so you can't easily misinterpret their instructions, and you both have the same mentality. And when you leave them satisfied, they will start spreading the word to other fellow architects that are now local, and that's how you slowly spread in other countries. When I started, I was also using freelancer.com. If you don't know Freelancer, the concept is that you go and bid on projects. Now, when you start using Freelancer, unfortunately, the odds are against you because there are many people bidding on one project, and usually those people have more experience than you. Now, how does a client think? Let's be honest. The first thing he will see is your bid. So, if he likes your pricing, he will click to see your profile. If you don't have any reviews and you go and bid high, it's very unlikely that he will trust you and award you the project. So the goal is to get awarded that first project so that you start receiving reviews and thus credibility. When I started, I was bidding very low, and once I had my reviews, I then started increasing my pricing. Now, I still remember that I would receive hatred messages from fellow 3D artists that I was bidding very low, and that was I was doing damage to the 3D community. Were they right? Yes and no. I mean, as in any profession, of course, it's not right or ethical to undervalue a product or a service. But when you don't all start from the same base, you don't all have the same advantage, then you need to find a way to cover the gap between you and your competition. And when I say competition, it's not who will get the first or the second place, it's either you get awarded the project and you get paid, or you get nothing. I used Freelancer for a year, maybe two, maybe even more, I don't remember anymore. For me, Freelancer is a temporary solution because there is a ceiling to the money you can make from the side, but it's good to boost your confidence when you see that you get awarded project, you close deals, and you leave clients happy. If I could give you some advice, because I believe I have been through all the stages. I mean, I started working as a student, so I was being underpaid, and then I finished my studies and I had a competitive salary towards architects my age. I started my freelancing career charging low, bidding low, and as I was gaining experience, I was increasing my pricing. I mean, now I'm approximately 7 times up from what I used to charge when I started. So, my personal belief is that charging low can't make you successful on the long run, simply because when you are one single person running your business, there is only a certain amount of projects that you can take on. And this means that there is a certain amount of money that you can make from this project. And as time goes by, you will exhaust yourself. More importantly to me, you will never be able to convert this to a company just because you won't have money to pay salaries. And even if you do, you won't be able to acquire talent, which is the most important thing to make your company competitive. My company has 12 employees, and I will admit that every single one of them is a better artist than I am, and I'm really proud of them. And I believe that they are helping my company grow. So, to go back to my initial point, yes, I do believe that you can start by charging low. I actually think it's inevitable, especially when you don't have experience, but then you need to have a solid plan on how you will grow. It was 2015 when I decided that I needed to level up. I contacted my best friend, which I know for many years and I fully trust her, and I asked her to partner up. I think it was one of the greatest decisions I ever made for many reasons. And based on my personal experience, if you have in your life this type of person that you fully trust, I would say to go for it. I mean, when you run a business, there are so many things that will go wrong. You will have clients impossible to satisfy. You will have deadlines impossible to meet. You will have meetings that you will find it so hard to express your opinions. And don't get me started on the financial issues that will rise. So, in all these moments, it's best if you have two minds to combine instead of just being you trying to find the solution to everything. Your partner will be able to bring new ideas to the table and to see everything from a different perspective. And if you're asking me, it's important to partner up with someone that brings something new to the equation. I mean, if you are a really talented 3D artist, you don't need to partner up with someone as talented as you. He may have really strong communication skills. He should be able to make up for the things that you are lacking. Here comes advice number 2. It took me approximately 8 years to get to where I am right now, and please don't let me start counting the times I wanted to give up. The way I managed to overcome the crises that were coming my way was to never put all my eggs in one basket. And what do I mean by that? I try my income not to depend on one single source. Now, I have income from my company, from my books, from the learning center that I have, from YouTube, and I'm also an interior designer. So they all relate to each other, and every new move I make, I aim to support the other ones. Why should you do that? It's a cliche, but you can't predict future. I mean, I come from a country, Greece, that survived a really deep economic crisis that lasted for years. Before that, I was having a learning center that was doing great, and all of a sudden I had no money. I moved to the US and it was like I was starting professionally from scratch. Now, you all see this coronavirus outbreak that no one could predict, and it's affecting the whole planet. So, for me, it's vital to create multiple income sources, so when all of a sudden something happens and one of your professional moves isn't doing great, to have the others to support it so that you won't give up. Otherwise, you may possibly need to change the career path in order to have money flow. I am trying to find lately ways to expand what we're doing now. I mean, the architectural visualization. I have been contacted by a law firm to 3D represent how a crime went down, or by doctors to show how the bones get affected by various diseases through time. So 3D renderings can apply to so many different fields nowadays. No matter what you have studied, I have studied architecture, never limit yourself and keep an open mind. Before I leave you, I would like to say one last thing. I was 24 when I published my first book in Greece, and after that, two more followed. In the meantime, I was trying to contact US publishers to get a deal there, and everyone would reject me. I tried for a year, then a second one, then a third followed. Everyone would reject me. And then I said, okay, Margarita, it's time for you to leave it. And it's just this summer that I circled back to the book idea that I had. I contacted a few publishers in the US and I finally got my deal. And this time it was super easy. So, what I want to say is that sometimes when people reject you, and not just one person but multiple people, not just one type but multiple times, it doesn't necessarily mean that your idea isn't good or that you aren't good. Sometimes it's just the timing that is off. So stop wasting energy there, focus on other things that will help you grow, and then if you're certain about your ideas, you can go back to them at a later point in your life, and maybe then you are lucky. That's all I had to say. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to text me any questions you might have. I will see you all in my next video.